Hey YouTubers, it's I, Richard Zom, back again with part 3 of my Blu-ray collection. So I'm going to dive right into it, show you guys what I got. Of course, it's definitely going to help if I unzip the damn thing first, right? Alright guys, let's get to it. Now, I'm going to do my best with being able to pick this big case up and showing you guys the movies. Okay. They're in no actual alphabetical order, but I'm just going to get to it. First up is Repo Man and The X-Files. Fight the Future. Repo Man is actually a really, really good movie. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't like it. I personally thought it was really, really good. The whole concept, the whole storyline, it was just one of these really like neat sci-fi bounty hunter type movies about harvesting organs. Like they'll make a deal with you for you to stay alive, but you got to be able to pay the outrageous medical prices. I guess you can say it's kind of like Obamacare. And with that being said, I mean, I don't really need to get into X-Files. Everyone knows X-Files, awesome, Mulder and Scully. Really good movie. Was really happy. I got them both for about $5 a piece. So let's move on. Okay. Next up is Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme and War with Jason Statham and Jet Li. Both of these I got for $5 a piece. Kickboxer, I mean, come on. It's a martial arts classics. It's one of the martial art classics with Van Damme. I don't really need to get into it because, I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen the movie. You have to love it. It's right up there to go with Bloodsport and, you know, just a really badass ass-kicking movie. Some of the acting, though, at times is pretty bad. But the movie itself is just really cool. It's just that cheesy, nostalgic kung fu martial arts movie that you're going to grow to love. And Jason Statham and Jet Li, I would have never thought the pairing would have worked well. But the movie was entertaining, and I mean, it's just Jason Statham and Jet Li being badasses. You can't want anything more than that. Alright, moving on. This one has an empty slot, but it's one I just acquired. Boondock Saints on Blu-ray. What more needs to be said about Norman Reedus? Nothing. Daryl kicks ass. Boondocks kicks ass. Really well made movie, really cool movie about two brothers just going out there and handling business the best way and only way they know how. And the slot next to it's going to be for the second part of the series, in Boondocks 2. And yeah, moving on. Drive and Donnie Darko. Drive is one of those unsung hero type movies you would have never thought garnered fame, should I say. For some reason my vocabulary is completely off, but we'll try to get through it. Really awesome, really well made movie. You know, you had Bryan Cranston in it, you had Ryan Gosling in it. Just one of it for me. It was an homage to like a really good 1970s like suspense, you know, driving movie, like the movie The Driver, especially, or you know, Getaway, or Bullet with Steve McQueen. Best part about it is the freaking soundtrack is amazing. You know, Cave and Sky, or some people, you know, probably even call him Casper Sky, but Cave and Sky. Amazing soundtrack to this movie. Definitely pick up a copy. I mean, I got mine for about $5. It's totally worth getting into. And Donnie Darko, I don't really need to get into details. Like I said, most of you guys will be fans of these movies, but this is just Donnie Darko is one of those out there, deranged, little twisted. I mean, you're high on more than one substance when you're watching this movie, or that's how it's going to convey itself to you when you're experiencing it. I mean, it is just warped, but it's warped to the point where it works so damn well. It's one of those movies where either you get it or you don't, and you don't explain it. You just watch it and get it. Like a lot of people watch The Big Lebowski. I've seen it a couple different times. My brain still can't wrap around that movie. it does nothing for me. But you know, a lot of people enjoy it. It's a big cult classic movie. But Donnie Darko's the same way. It's either you get it or you don't, and that's all there is to it. Moving on. Next up, I recently just got these. This is The Quick and the Dead and Air Force One. Now, for me, Air Force One is probably one of my favorite movies Harrison Ford's done. Because it's the president, it's about hijacking, and it's about a president being badass enough to take care of business himself. And that was Harrison Ford in Air Force One. The movie was awesome. Never have I been so proud to see a president, you know, roll up his sleeves and just get knee deep and kick all kinds of, you know, bad guy butt. And then The Quick and the Dead. I mean, what more can you say? You know, Gene Hackman. Let's see, it's Gene Hackman, DiCaprio, Sharon Stone, and Russell Crowe. Now, I'm not a big Russell Crowe fan, nor am I a DiCaprio fan. Yes, you heard me say it, DiCaprio. I've only liked maybe about 3 movies in his whole career. One was Basketball Diaries, 2 was Catch Me If You Can, and 3 was Man in Iron Mask because 1, he wasn't in the movie a majority. You had to see him, and you know, they had his face concealed. I was really happy about that. But yeah, we'll just, yeah, never mind. We're moving on. All these empties, good lord, all these empties. Here we go. Beer Fest and the Invincible Iron Man animated series on Blu-ray. I mean, Beer Fest. It's Broken Lizard, man. These guys are in epic funny. Epic funny. I'm still waiting for them to make that movie Weed Fest that you see at the end of Beer Fest. They teaser to it, but I don't know if it ever happened. And then, of course, they did Super Troopers, and that was just epically hilarious. And again, Beer Fest, another one, epically hilarious. They talk about beer and drinking and getting drunk and all your iconic beer drinking games and hot chicks and lederhosens and all that good stuff. And then Invincible Iron Man, if you're a comic geek like I am and you love Marvel and you love Iron Man, you're going to love this animated movie. I mean, again, it got mixed reviews. A lot of people were hating on it. Some people were okay with it. But I mean, for me, $5, Blu-ray, animated, you're not going to get me to complain. And besides, it's freaking Iron Man. Moving on. The Brothers Grimm and Total Recall. Again, a classic Schwarzenegger movie. Total Recall is just one of those ones you just love to watch if you're a sci-fi fan. And Schwarzenegger, I mean, for me, Schwarzenegger can't really do anything bad because the man just, he's a walking marvel of correct speech and correct grammar that he thinks he's saying with his accent. And The Brothers Grimm, again, Heath Ledger and Matt Damon. I haven't fully seen the whole movie, but I enjoyed the graphics thoroughly. It's another one of those movies that was either a hit or miss with fans, but the graphics were pretty amazing. And Total Recall is just, that's one of those ones you have in your library if, you know, like I said, if you're a fan of 1980s to crossover 1990s sci-fi action films. Next one up is Young Guns and No Country for Old Men. Now, No Country for Old Men was an awesome movie. I mean, the actor, and let me see, I hope I can see his name on here. Javier Bardem. He plays Suka, who's like this badass call-in the cavalry. Like, I would consider him a sweeper. I mean, he comes in and just gets the job done. He is one ruthless, badass killing machine. And, you know, Tommy Lee Jones and Josh Brolin, and I even think Woody Harrelson was in the movie. They all came together, and I mean, it's just one of those little pop-up out of nowhere, barely had a chance movie, and I mean, it just kicked butt. I mean, you got Javier Bardem's performance in this was just like amazing. I can only say that, amazing. I highly recommend watching that. And then Young Guns, I mean, what more do you want from, I would say some of the iconic B-rated actors. You know, you have Lou Diamond Phillips, Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, and a few others that unfortunately I can't see their names from here. But again, $5 a piece for both the titles. Highly recommend getting them. You won't be disappointed. They're both fun to watch. Next movie, Red. Red's one of those movies that were just laugh out loud, hilarious, awesome action movies. I totally loved it. I've seen it a few different times. Highly recommend it. I mean, you got Morgan Freeman, you got Bruce Willis, you got John Malkovich. I mean, what more do you need? I mean, it's an epic film to watch. You got to take a look at it. Now I know, like I said, I don't do none of that side-by-side image. I don't do that video feed. I'm a raw cut YouTuber. I record and post. That's all I do. You know, taking it old school. But Red, totally worth watching. I have the slot next to it empty because I'm wanting to get Red too. But yeah, definitely $5. Do yourself a favor, pick up a copy and give it a watch. Okay, next one is, if you can see, I have it there and there. For some reason, at one point, I was trying to save space, and I was putting 2 titles in one sleeve because on the back of these, on the front, you get like 2 slots for your artwork, right? And then in the back, you get 4 slots for your discs. Now, some of these Blu-rays I come with, some of the Blu-rays I pick up and come across. Again, sorry, the vocabulary was starting to get away from me. And sometimes you don't need both the slots. So at one point, to save space, I was doubling up. So I had part 1 and part 2 under one slot rather than separated by 2. But I'm going to go ahead and fix that later on so you can see the titles. But this is definitely Kill Bill 1 and 2. Quentin Tarantino, again, at his finest, making some amazing films. This one was a lot of fun. It had Lucy, Lucy Lee. It had, who else was in this movie? Yeah, Lucy Lee. Oh, of course, Uma Thurman, the main character. Zoe Bell, who was the stunt double for that, and she also did all the stunts for Xena the Warrior Princess, Lucy Lawless. So thank you, Zoe Bell. You kicked ass in this movie. Of course, David Carradine, and I'm sure I'm missing other people, but I'm not going to get into it. But for $5 a hit for these to have into my collection, I am very happy. Quentin Tarantino has never let me down. I think the only movie he actually did kind of like throw the ball for me, even though it's like one of the main ones of his career. I liked Reservoir Dogs, but jeez, that movie was just way too short. In my opinion, way too short. If you want to, yell at me, hey, leave me a comment down below. That's what YouTube's there for. But that's my opinion on it. And moving on. These next ones I actually came across at Fry's, and I was quite happy because they're pretty awesome. Kiss of the Dragon is one of those movies, again, that, was a little underdog, unsung movie that you didn't know was going to make it or break it, and it's actually really good. I mean, I personally liked it. I had a bunch of fun. I mean, and Jet Li is just one of those, martial arts master. Put him on, the big screen, and he'll kick your teeth in. And the other one is a 4-pack movie combo on Blu-ray, and you get all 4 of these awesome Jackie Chan titles. You get Operation Condor, Operation Condor 2, Project A, and Project A2. Now, for $5, there was no way in hell I was going to walk away from a 4-pack of Jackie Chan movies. That's just unheard of and, downright stupid if you did. And I'm not saying that you guys are dumb, but I'm saying if you have to sit there and contemplate picking up a $5 Blu-ray with 4 Jackie Chan movies, you got to start reconsidering your love of martial arts, because Jackie Chan is the freaking man. Both of these, you won't go wrong with. You'll have a bunch of fun watching them. I know I did, and especially these. These are just like some of the best work Jackie's ever done. I mean, classic, awesome martial arts films. Moving on. You know what? I also forgot to mention on that Jackie Chan one, I had a underneath title, and I'm not going to go through the hassle of pulling out, but I have Super Cop there too that I picked up for $5 at Fry's. Another awesome one to add to the collection. Now this last one's a little lengthy, and it'll be the last one for my part 3 of the collection, because I still have a part 4 and part 5 I'm sure of with this case alone. So I'm going to go through this, and that'll be it for this one, and then I'll make plans to getting part 4 up. Now this last one is pretty big. I'm just going to show you the one art cover, and then I'll tell you guys about the movies. Fast and the Furious. I was surprised at the success this movie had. The first one was initially shot in my old neighborhood where I used to live. It was really cool to see some of the streets and landmarks they used. I'm not really one who's big into the racing. I don't like driving myself because it's just a waste of money, in my opinion, to have to spend that much to do something that's technically a necessity in your everyday life. And the fact that they're aware of that and they want to charge you 4 times the amount to do so is kind of like waking up every day realizing you're going to get bummed in the rear end. I'm not down for that. But getting back on topic, Fast and Furious, amazing storyline, awesome freaking cars. I mean, action, hot girls, and driving really, really fast. Now, again, like I said, I'm not one for driving. I'm totally down to do this kind of stuff, but only on a closed circuit. I'm not promoting or condoning any of you crazy bastards who do street racing. I mean, you guys are just nuts doing that. Straight up. Case in point, we unfortunately lost Paul Walker, who was the main star alongside Vin Diesel in these movies, due to him being in a vehicle that his friend punched a little too fast and unfortunately lost control, and they both ended up losing their lives. But again, I enjoyed most of the films. Part 2 for me was a little bit of a disappointment, just because I'm not really big on Tyrese as an actor. I mean, he's okay, but it's one of those personal preferences. I really don't like him that much in that way, to seem like, oh, you know, you're that much of an awesome actor from my personal taste, where I'm like, hey, you know, right on, dude. No, not me. And Part 2 probably wasn't the best one in the series. It was okay, but nowhere near as credible as the other ones. I mean, for me personally, I love Tokyo Drift, even though I know they didn't shoot it in Japan, which a friend clued me in on eventually, and then I watched the whole special features that came with the Blu-ray disc set that I bought. But yeah, Tokyo Drift was amazing. I've liked all the other ones since that. Part 2 was the only one I had an issue with. But like I said, incredibly made movies for that type of category that guys are into, with, you know, street racing and drifting and hot females and all that stuff. They definitely found an avenue. They took off with it. They capitalized on it. And for me, I think, and I should have done my research before I did this, if you guys have any information on it, you can leave me a comment in below of this video. But I think, if I'm not correct, this is one of the longest running sequels for a movie. I mean, I know there's some other ones out there, and I'm pretty sure there's some that are older than I can think of, but for my time, this is one long sequel series. I mean, there's like 7 of them. This Part 7's coming up, but it was delayed because of Paul Walker's passing. That's gnarly, man. I mean, for one movie to have like 7 different, and then I even heard one time when I read an article that Vin Diesel had actually gotten greenlit to make 10 in a row, and I'm pretty sure they would have made that mark if Paul Walker was still alive. But you never know, they might even figure out a way how to keep the franchise going and take it all the way to 10, and from there, who knows, because I mean, these movies are really, really well. I was very happy to get it. Got it off Amazon UK. I paid, I think it was 13 or 15 pounds, so it was like, and I'm not really correct with calculations because I can't remember them, but I think I paid just under $30 for, I think it's all, at the time the collection I had gave me 5 films, so I'm only missing Part 6, and when Part 7 comes up, get Part 7 out of my collection. But with that being said, guys, if you haven't seen Fast and the Furious, man, you got to get out there and watch it. These movies are funny. But take your own precaution, Part 2. Till then, man, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming and checking out my channel. Thanks for watching the video. I had a bunch of fun collecting these Blu-rays. I hope you guys enjoy me talking about it and checking out my collection. And pretty soon I'll have Part 4 up for you guys. Alright? Alright, YouTubers. Alright, my freaks and geeks. Catch you guys next time. Later on.